You are live.
Okay, welcome to the October 1st, 2025 meeting of the Westfield Parks and Recreation Board. Terry, will you please call the roll so we can confirm who's here?
Yeah. Mike Antrim,
Here.
Curtis Baumgardner,
Here.
Mike Hall,
Here.
Julia Grimmer,
Here?
Leanne Sins.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Great. I'm calling this meeting to order at 7 p.m. Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Okay, if we don't have any changes to the agenda, do we have a motion to approve the meeting's agenda as prepared?
I move to approve tonight's agenda as prepared.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Seeing none, Terry?
Mike Antrim,
Yes.
Curtis Baumgardner.
Yes.
Mike Hall,
Yes.
Julia Grimmer,
Yes.
Leanne Sins.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. Moving on to the public comments portion. Mr. Vice President, do any members of the public want to address the board today?
Madam President, we do have two speakers, or two individuals that wish to address the park board. First, I'll call Bill Greer. Bill, if you'll step up to the microphone. Hopefully I said your name correctly. Perfect.
Thanks. Good evening. Last week's issue of Current came out, and first thing I noticed was on the cover was a picture of a fellow with his dog in a field, and the dog was not on a leash. I said, oh, wow, that's exciting. Maybe that's a dog park. And anyways, I would really like to see Westfield put a dog park in. There are currently no dog parks where a dog could be off leash today. And you have this new parcel that you just bought at 186 in Casey Roads, 22 acres. So I would ask you to consider, setting aside 3 to 4 acres for a dog park. I think that would be very nice. It could be a nice one or just a real basic one. Nice ones have fences with fobs that people pay a membership for and whatever. Others are just gates open, anybody can come in. But I really think that the city of Westfield could use a dog park with all the housing construction that's going up, the apartments and everything else. You're going to have a lot of people here, and a lot of those people are going to have dogs, and they would like to get out and exercise their dogs. Besides, they're great social areas too. I've had dogs for over 20 years, and I love going to dog parks. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Bill. Much appreciated.
Okay.
Called Donna Van Huys. Did I say that right? Hughes. All right, perfect. My apologies.
Hi. So my name is Donovan Hughes, and I represent the Board of Directors for the Westfield Pickleball Association. And the last time I met you was in February this year, when I didn't know what I was doing when I came up for public comment, and you helped me, but thank you very much. But we've come here tonight, and representatives of the board, including our president, to thank you as a Parks Department, Parks Director, and a board. I know you probably don't get that very often, but we came to thank you formally for the recently completed upgrades and improvements to Quaker Park pickleball courts. So that's something that was needed and expressed, and Chris listened to the group and also the community and put that as a priority, and I know that that's something that you approved through your budget. So we wanted to thank you very much. Leslie Coatings did a great job with the filling of the cracks and the repainting of the surface. And the courts look good and they play good, and the whole all the community has been very excited that we have run into out there. So thank you very much on behalf of them. We really appreciate it. The WPA is also really thankful for the open dialogue that we've had and we continue to have with Chris and the mayor, the city council, and this group to support the development of additional public pickleball courts that enhance our current and our future park amenities. Investing in publicly accessible free pickleball courts in our park aligns with our city's commitment to promoting health, wellness, and community engagement. So as the 2026 city budget approaches its final adoption and the budget that you're presenting tonight moves through the process, we really look forward to collaborating with Chris, the Parks Board, and the entire team as individual project plans begin to materialize. So we want to thank you, and thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on to the minutes from our last meeting on August 6, 2025. Is there a motion to either make a change to the minutes or to approve them? Or am I, yeah, okay, good.
I move to approve the park board meeting minutes from September 3rd, 2025.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? I see none. Terry, will you please call the roll for vote?
Mike Antrim,
Yes.
Curtis Baumgartner,
Yes.
Mike Hall,
Yes.
Julie Grimmer,
Yes.
Leanne Sins,
Yes.
motion carried.
Okay, moving on to old business. We don't have any items of old business. So moving on to new business, we have a few items to discuss today. First, a park impact fee credit agreement between the City of Westfield and Union Square Multifamily Phase 1 LLC. Chris, will you please provide an overview of this item?
Absolutely. Like you stated, Madam President, this is a park impact fee credit agreement between the city and Old Town Development, which is the developer in charge of Union Square, to credit them, let me get to it, $302,820 for the construction of a plaza that will link the 32 corridor down through their development to the Grand Junction Plaza. They will be updating that, adding a sidewalk, hard seating, bench seating, landscaping, all as part of this park impact fee credit agreement. The agreement is, the activity is in the zone improvement plan, so it does qualify for park impact fee credits. And that is the overview of the credit agreement. If you guys have questions, I am happy to answer those at this time.
I have a question. Can you, this involves a perpetual public access easement, right? That's still yet to be negotiated?
That is correct. Let me get down here to the overview, the aerial. You'll notice that in red, this red outline highlights what will be a perpetual use public easement. That agreement has yet to be worked out. It has been promised by Old Town that it will take place, and that also that part of that agreement will include a maintenance agreement so that Old Town is also responsible, or the development is responsible for maintaining the area in perpetuity.
Who's responsible? Who will be responsible for maintaining this space once it's complete?
As I just stated, it will be the developer that
Okay,
and the management company of the development that will maintain this space.
I have a quick question, just to
Yeah.
clarify. So on the bottom of the picture, is that State Road 32 or on the top?
The top of the picture is State Road 32. On the left side would be Mill Street. On the east side would be Union, and on the south side would be Jersey Street. So this plaza with the landscaping and this, if I remember correctly, 10-foot walkway, solid seating walls on the side, and some landscaping down here as well, are that connection between the 32 corridor once it's finished and Mill Street and our program space along, Jersey Street and our program space along Jersey, and then finally linking into Grand Junction Plaza.
So, Chris, would it make sense to you if we, we take a vote on this, that that there be a stipulation that the city is also able to negotiate agreeable terms for the perpetual easement involving what's the company's name here? Union Square's responsibility for maintenance and costs?
Absolutely. I would actually recommend that the board pass this with the stipulation that the easement agreement and the maintenance agreement be passed as well.
Back through us before, okay.
Yes, that would come back to you. If they can't provide that to us and it be brought back to the board for acceptance by the board, then this agreement would be null and void ultimately.
Any other questions?
I'll make just a general comment. We had two members of the community here this evening addressing things that they would like to see built in future parks. Mm-hmm. Both of those items would qualify in our parks to use park impact fees for. Correct? I mean,
Correct.
If we were to build a brand new dog park or build a brand new pickleball courts or another park, park and recreation impact fees are really important for that new development. So, you know, I know that there's a time and a place to grant impact fee credits so that developers can build these nice public amenities for the community and stuff. But I also want to make sure that we're prioritizing some of our undeveloped or new properties that we just acquired, you know, and making sure that future park impact fees, you know, can go towards developing those properties. So.
Absolutely. I agree with Board Vice President Baumgartner wholeheartedly. I would prefer to use these things on our undeveloped parcels so that we can provide more amenities in our parks for our residents. But sometimes we need to get these things downtown and these public spaces developed as well. So.
And the way that I understand it is that this will, in essence, be somewhat of an extension of Grand Junction Plaza.
Correct.
Events could spill over into these spaces, so.
Correct. That is the premise behind this plaza, is that things like the farmer's market could spill into this space and we could use this space as additional event space.
Quick question, is it
Yes.
already landscaped, or is it?
It is already planned to be landscaped and they are in the process right now of construction.
Any other questions? Okay. Seeing none, is there a motion to authorize the director to enter into the park impact fee credit agreement with the stipulation that there's also agreeable terms for the associated public or perpetual public easement that we also approve through the board?
I move that the park board provides a not to exceed $302,820 credit in lieu of park impact fees to Old Town Companies LLC for the development of a public plaza connection to Grand Junction Plaza and also a public access easement.
Do you want to add that stipulation in there?
Yes. That was a mouthful. You might add
Yeah,
that.
it's hard to get it all out there.
And also a perpetual easement agreement and perpetual easement and management agreement. Is that what?
Yes.
Is that fair enough?
Yep.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion further? Okay, I don't see any, so Terry, will you please call the roll for vote?
Mike Antrim,
Yes.
Curtis Baumgartner,
Yes.
Mike Hall,
Yes.
Julia Grimmer,
Yes.
Leanne Zentz.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, thank you. Second item of new business is Resolution 25-147. Resolution of the City of Westfield Parks and Recreation Board recommending amendments to Chapter 93, Parks and Recreation of the City of Westfield, Indiana Code of Ordinances. Chris, will you please provide an overview of this item?
Absolutely, I'd be more than happy to. This is, as you stated, a resolution supporting the amendment to Chapter 93, which is the Parks and Recreation Rules Ordinance, as a result of changes to the golf cart ordinance, which was passed on earlier in the year by council and will take effect on November 1st. Some of these changes that are highlighted in this resolution include verbiage about police and enforcement, some changes as well to our fine structure, better defining what e-bikes are, adding golf carts to our yield blockers that are on the trail, changing the trail speed limit from 20 miles an hour to 15 miles an hour, as well as addressing racing activity, reckless operation of bicycles or other motorized vehicles that are permitted on the trail, and as well as establishing a better defined hours of operations for the trail. That is the overview of the resolution. I'm happy to answer questions from the board if they have any at this time.
Are there any questions?
I read through this and I just want to clarify, this isn't the Monon, right?
Correct. Golf carts are not permitted on the Monon, and as far as I know, will not be permitted on the Monon anytime soon.
Thanks.
Okay, I don't see any other questions or comments coming forward, so is there a motion to approve Resolution 25-147?
I move to approve Resolution 25-147.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, Terry, will you please call the roll for vote?
Mike Antrim,
Yes.
Curtis Baumgartner,
Yes.
Mike Hall,
Yes.
Julia Grimmer,
Yes.
Leanne Zentz.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Our third and last item of new business is a presentation of the 2026 Parks budget. Chris?
Thank you, Madam President, I appreciate that. Before we get into the presentation itself, I will let the board know that this has been introduced at the council level, and council is reviewing the detailed budget, and it will be up for adoption potentially on October 13th, but it does have to be adopted by the last meeting in October. Also, one other caveat is that we, the directors, the department heads for the city, were charged by the mayor due to SEA 1 to reduce our overall budget of each department by 5%. You will notice in the first slide that we didn't quite accomplish that goal, and there's a very specific reason for that. Our reduction actually was about 2.5%, and I will get into the reasons as to why it wasn't 5% here in just one second. So with that said, I'm going to do a very high-level overview of each one of our line items, each one of our appropriation high-level numbers, and we'll discuss briefly what comes out of each one of those lines. And then obviously at the end, if the board has questions, I'd be happy to answer them. So we will start with our overall proposed budget. So our 2025 total budget last year was $3,441,946. Our 2026 total budget is proposed to be $3,374,756. That is a total budget reduction of 2.1%. The reason for the minimal amount of budget reduction is we have taken on, in a conversation with Westfield Welcome, we better defined what are programs and what are events. And in that process, there are three rather large programs that will be transferred over to the Parks Department. Those three programs are Farmers Market, Jams at the Junction, and then our Kids Summer Series. And as a result of that, we will also be gaining a staff member. So if it wasn't for the addition of those three programs, we actually would have had a reduction of 6.8%. But it's not an increase in the overall budget. It is a transfer of dollars from the Westfield Welcome budget to the Parks Department budget. So with that said, we will cover our first item, which is our 100 series line item. This is staffing. We will have proposed $872,164 in that line item. This covers staff salaries and benefits, one additional staff member, as I said, which is our market manager. It will fund a new on-call program, which we rolled out just recently and has already had great success as a result of some vandalism in the park. Funds a new internship and summer staff program, because we are hoping to add at least 4 summer staff or interns next year. We'll include a 3% merit increase for all staff, and then something that was a goal of mine that I'm particularly proud of was the ability to increase our staff salaries so that we could get them all to the median level of their salary range so that they're competitive with a lot of our other parks departments in the county. Moving on to our operations line item, this is at $44,900. This is very small items. Our operating supplies, our tree replacement, trail and park sign replacement. We did get additional dollars for trail pavement markings. Mayor would like to, as well as council, would like to see thermoplastic logos on our trails so they're better identified. And then this also includes our uniform, safety gear, and other items that our staff needs to perform their duties. Moving on to our services line item, this is our largest of our line item in the budgets. That's at $2,357,693. Obviously, we're seeing, as everyone else, an increase in our utility costs, so that will be a 10% increase there. Our travel and training budget, the mayor has asked us to find more unique ways to provide training for our staff, so we will be partnering hopefully with other parks departments in the area to provide training. One of the big things that we cut out was the ability to go to nationals every year. We will do that every other year, but we will still be able to go to our state conference as a part of our travel and training. Our building maintenance is part of this line item. Our equipment repair, we had a 14% reduction in that. Our promotions and programming, we saw a 700% increase in that, and that is because of the dollars associated with operating the market, Jams at the Junction, and our Kids Summer Series. And then our landscape and construction services dropped by 10%, and then our subscriptions and licensing, it also dropped by 57%. Our infrastructure, this is another small line item, $75,000. Infrastructure repair goes to seal coating our parking lots, seal coating our trails when needed, and then also it helps to pay for new equipment. The reason for the 16% reduction in this is we had some one-time costs that we occurred this year, which is additional signage, additional barricades for Grand Junction Plaza that we won't be purchasing next year, and that's why there's a 16% reduction. And then finally, as you said, Mr. Baumgartner, our park impact fee, this is a non-reverting fund, and for those in the room who don't quite understand park impact fees, a park impact fee is a one-time fee assessed to new residential construction. So each house pays a fee into a line item that we are able to hold on to and use for specific capital improvements across our Parks Department. Some of the things that we are looking at for next year, obviously this budget is $4.5 million. We'll look at the Simon Moon Playground. The new one will come out of this line item. As long as it's approved by the Parks Board and, the council, we will be adding a pickleball complex at Freedom Trail as well as a new restroom at Freedom Trail. We will also add a restroom at the Woods Family Park and a playground at the Woods Family Park, which is a 5-acre parcel we have yet to acquire, but are in conversations with the owners. They would like to donate that to the Parks Department, and it would become a northern trailhead for the Monon. It's right off the Monon Trail. And then finally, the Park Street design and construction documentations are a part of that as well. So that is a very high-level overview of where the budget is. I think we're in a very good place to accomplish some really good things next year, even with the reduction that we've seen. We've also upped our ability to generate revenue, and we have a lot of other non-reverting funds that are really gaining traction. And are going to allow us to supplement tree planting throughout the community, as well as also supplement some of those general fund dollars for our programs as well. So with that all said, at this time, if the board has any questions on what they've seen, I am happy to answer those.
Chris, there appears to be a typographical error on the staffing. What you showed us on the screen was a 3% merit increase for all staff. And what's in our materials is a 4%.
Yeah, that is my error. It is actually a 3%, not a 4%. I apologize.
No problem. I just wanted to be consistent.
Absolutely, and I reviewed it again today just to double check. These numbers have moved around, as I'm sure you can imagine, quite a bit over the last couple of months, so I wanted to double check, and it is a 3% merit increase. But do keep in mind that I worked really hard, even though we had a reduction, to make sure that our staff got the bump they needed to get them to their median salary. That was very important to me, and our guys, our ladies, and gentlemen work really hard, and I feel like they really deserve that.
Good. I appreciate your pointing that out. I just didn't want it to be inconsistent.
I understand. Thank you for pointing it out.
I think that's outstanding too. Hey, with the park impact fees, the funds, these are funds already in the bank. You're just having $4.5 million appropriated for use.
Correct. These are funds, and these aren't all the funds in the bank. We have more than that in the bank, but that we have to go through the exercise of appropriating them every single year, what we intend to spend based on the State Board of Accounts.
I am a little confused, kind of similar question about, I thought Simon Moon Phase 2, the new playground, right? We had already approved entering into the agreement for that equipment. I'm curious about a status update on that.
Yep.
But also, I guess, those funds haven't been expended yet. You didn't sign the contract, didn't pay anything yet, and that's why it's into 2026?
Correct. That is correct. So half of it's already been delivered. The other half is still under construction, still being built. It won't be delivered until January, and they don't expect payment for the actual physical playground units until that final piece is delivered. And then, which is, and I don't want to give you a number that's false, but it is only a percentage of that overall $800,000. The other part of that is for the actual installation of the unit. That's why that is budgeted for in 2026, because even though Phase 2, Simon Moon Phase 2 has already started, they won't be ready for installation of that playground until 2026. Does that help?
Yeah, yeah. And is that on timeline or is that like a little
Yep.
bit late? Oh,
Nope,
this time-
it is still on timeline, and I will go over Simon Moon Phase 2 in my director's report, but absolutely, it is on timeline. To help you out, they started pumping down the water in the pond today.
Oh, for like the landing.
Yeah, so that and I'll get into that more detail during my director's report.
Can you just, I'm curious as well about the on-call program. I'm just curious what that is.
Okay, so similar to our street department, I've decided and worked with our maintenance staff to get their buy-in to have an on-call program. So every weekend, a different maintenance staff member will take home an on-call phone with them. And if there is an emergency that comes up, for example, over the weekend, we had a graffiti event at Ace of Bales. So some unruly young men came into the park at about 11:30 on Friday evening and painted some very inappropriate things all over the skate park. We were made aware of that Saturday morning, and because now I have an on-call person, I called that on-call phone. They were prepared. They came to the office and got what they needed and went and immediately took care of that problem. So it wasn't an eyesore in our park for the people to have to, especially the children, based on what was sprayed. They wouldn't have to continue to see that. It's stuff as simple as that, but it also could be things that the splash park breaks down and needs to be addressed over a weekend. It could be snow removal. It could be a lot of different things, but having an on-call person really allows us to address these things that happen on the weekend outside of normal business hours, address those quickly and take care of them without any delay.
Are they paid the whole time they're on call, or is it if they're dispatched out?
They get a stipend for being on call, so they get $30 a day for actually being on call, and then they get paid overtime for actually any call out, and they get paid time and a half per hour for every call out that they would have.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
I just am curious where the Woods Family Park is on the Monon.
It is just north of 191st Street. There is a David Weekley Homes development that is up there. The name of it escapes me, but it is directly across 191st Street from the event center. And that 5-acre parcel is tucked right along the Monon within that neighborhood. It'll be behind some commercial development, so it'll be accessible to the general public as well. It is the other side of the Monon from the Woods family parcel is actually Monon Elementary School. So it's right in that area, just the opposite side of the trail.
Nice. Okay, thanks.
Any other questions at this time?
Quick question, will we put in fountains in front of that? Will we be putting in a fountain in front of that?
Oh, yeah.
And then, I just want to say, our dog lover left, but will there be a dog fountain too?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yes. Most of our fountains we're putting in nowadays have an ADA accessible fountain, a bottle filler, a traditional fountain, and a doggy fountain on the bottom of them as well.
I just say that because we lost the one at just north of Greyhound Pass.
I know. And that's on our slate. We haven't done it yet, but that is on the slate to replace that this year.
Awesome.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I think that concludes the third item, and we'll move on to the director's report.
Okay, here we go. All right. Thank you, Madam President. I appreciate it. Let me open my notes here real quick. I got a lot to go through today. So Simon Moon Phase 2, it did start this week. Boyle Construction has activated. They've started to put out silt fence. They've started to pump the water down in the pond. They are not going to drain the pond completely. They're just going to pump it down so they can get access to the shallow shelves, which will make it easier for them to install the helical piers that the new boardwalks will sit on. Once they have that done, they're going to fill the pond back up, and they're going to get that all accomplished before the cold weather hits. So we won't be risking any of the new equipment we installed during Phase 1. It is completely on track to have the majority of construction done over the wintertime, and their 100% completion date is the end of May. So again, just like Phase 1, as we roll into the summertime, all of the new features for Simon Moon Phase 2 should be ready for summertime for everyone to enjoy. And that will be the time that we look at overstocking the pond. And the reason I say overstocking the pond is because it has become very apparent that we already have lots of fish in the pond because we have people there fishing every day and catching fish. So they made their way into the pond on their own. Some of the other things we have going on, our second round of roundabout landscaping installations has taken place and is almost complete. Those 3 roundabouts that were part of that, again, are the ditch and Somerville, ditch and 151st, and ditch and Casey Road. Those should be completed hopefully within the next several weeks. The Park Street streetscape and plaza construction documentation exercise is moving forward. It looks like as long as utility relocates and all of that utility coordination goes well, we should be into construction with that activity in 2026. Our staff is currently prepping for our ice ribbon season, which will start the 20th of November. This past week at Noblesville Creates Gala, the city, the Parks Department included, because we head up this program, was awarded the Community Champions Award from Noblesville Creates for our work in bringing the arts to Westfield. Our maintenance department right now, they've just closed and winterized the splash pad. They're working to redo several beds at Grand Junction Plaza that had gotten overruled and overrun by some non-natives as well as some foxtail. Again, we just introduced and activated the on-call program. We're working through some sign additions and updates to the new, as a result of the new golf cart ordinance. They cleaned out the Marianne White barn for use as storage. And one of the other big things, as the pickleball folks said, we completed a project with Leslie Coating to completely recoat and resurface our pickleball courts out at Quaker, and then our maintenance team went in and tied up all the fence to make sure it was safer and for play. Programming, we have a lot going on with programming right now. This coming Saturday will be our first Century Hike, which is a partner program with Noblesville Parks and Recreation, as well as Noblesville's Mayor's Council on Disability and Westfield Mayor's Council on Disability. We will host it on the Midland Trail. There will be sensory stations and all sorts of other activities, and it will stretch from Hazeldale Elementary School all the way into Westfield to roughly Cary Road and back. So that's a partnership we're really excited about. We are also currently hosting all Westfield second grade classes. We started about 2 weeks ago, and this will last another 2 weeks. We're hosting those to be a part of our Voices from the Past program, which is a Westfield history field trip for them. I know we had one school today. We have another one tomorrow. And then also occurring in October is our Friday morning nature walks in October, which start at Grand Junction and walk out along the Midland Trail. And then we also will be partnering with Westfield Welcome in October on Barktoberfest, which is our dogs program at Isabel's, their dogs program at Isabel's on October 11th. And then our very popular trick or treat program on October 24th will come back to Grand Junction. It's lots of fun. If you have kids, it's something I highly recommend. Bring big bags because there's lots of candy. So with all of that said, if the board has any questions, I am happy to answer those at this time.
Hey, how are the kayak rentals doing at Simon Moon?
I don't have actual numbers right now, but I can tell you that I've seen quite a few people out on the pond in the kayaks. So it's got some traction. We had an influencer come and do a reel on them. And if I remember correctly, it had like 20,000 views or more. So there was one day all 4 of the kayaks were out there when I was outside. So it's been very well received, and I do believe as we continue to move forward with Simon Moon, it'll become even more popular.
I just want to mention, Westfield Green Together did finish replanting what had previously just been like the empty mulch sort of peninsulas, I guess, at the Monon trailhead around the Greyhound Pass area. I think those are looking pretty good, but just want to mention we got that done.
And I would like to thank Westfield Green Together for doing that. That parking lot has been a challenge since it was installed. So having them take that initiative and partner with us to get that accomplished is greatly appreciated.
Okay. Thank you for the report, Chris. And I think, moving on to other business then, does the board have any other items to discuss? I kind of went off topic already during the director's report, so I'm not sure that might conclude other things.
I did have one other thing. I just got confirmation from our comms director. The kayaks reel had over 106,000 views as of today.
Who was the influencer?
I do believe it's the Wandering Westfield influencer.
Oh, yeah, she does a phenomenal
Yeah,
job.
so we've had our kayaks. That particular one has been
That's
viewed over
incredible.
106,000 times. So
Incredible. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just, Mike can probably would agree with this, but just kudos to first responders for the incident at Westfield High School this week.
Okay, so I think of no further items. I'll just add a reminder that the next regular meeting will be held on Wednesday, September 3rd. And we are at the end of our agenda. Oh, what did I say? Oh, September. I'm like, I can't even read, sorry. It's the end of the day. So now, we're at the end of our agenda. Can I get a motion to adjourn in a second?
I move to adjourn.
I second.
Mike Antrim,
Yes?
Curtis Baumgartner.
Yes.
Mike Hall,
Yes.
Julie Grimmer,
Yes.
Leanne Sins.
Yes.
Meeting adjourned, 7:36.